Hola.
Hola. Welcome back. It's so glad to have you back. I'm glad. Are you glad?
So glad.
I'm glad. This is the next edition of
Monday Night Live.
I almost said Saturday.
It's definitely not Saturday.
No, it's not. Welcome back, guys. Thanks so much for joining us, hanging out with us, asking us questions, maybe having some fun and a laugh or two. That happens sometimes. It depends on if Neisha's on point or not.
I'm a little tired today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little tired.
Sometime later in the show, there will be a baby bump update. And if Beckett wakes up from his nap, there will be a Beckett Berry update.
We've been on the go all day. He usually doesn't take a nap, and he definitely doesn't take one at 7 p.m. But
yeah, so that may or may not happen. Hey, Natalie, how's it going? Welcome, all you guys. Now, if you've got a relative who always forgets to catch us live, tag them in the comments, or you can just click that share button, and you can share this in a direct message or on your favorite social media. We're here to help as many people improve their health and live their best life. That's our goal. And you can help us by helping them by sharing this video.
If you've never been here before, let us introduce ourselves.
Yes.
I'm Neisha Berry, wife to this dude over here, registered nurse. My background's in labor and delivery and also long-term care. I am a mom to one and another one on the way. I specialize in autoimmune, Hashimoto's, and moms who are interested in staying low carb during pregnancy, prior to pregnancy, and after pregnancy while breastfeeding.
Yes.
And I'm almost certified as a breastfeeding counselor coming in the next week.
Huzzah.
I know.
Huzzah. And I am Dr. Ken Berry. I'm a family physician. I've been practicing medicine since 2000.
Just that.
Yep.
2000.
Yep. And so that's been a minute, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm happy to be here. Now we're going to answer as many questions as we can. We have Mitzi in the chat. We have Paola in the chat, and we have Kevin, PhD mentor. These guys, they have a little blue wrench beside their name, which means they're a moderator. And so they're going to be looking for, if inappropriate comments, they'll ban you. But if you ask a beginner question, they will answer you in the comments because we can only answer so many questions in 1 hour.
That's right. We answer as many as we can, as fast as we can, but we are only human.
Yes.
All right. So,
all right, let's do it.
Where would you like to start? Have you seen a question that you wanted to talk about already in the chat?
Let's see. Somebody asked what BBB and E stands for.
Triple B and E is beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. It's something that Dr. Berry has adapted in his clients because it's simple.
Yeah, it's simple. It's easy. You can make it relatively inexpensive, and it's a great elimination diet and a great reset to help your metabolism start to heal and get back to normal.
Your metabolism and your gut. It's really good because it's very simplified. So no dairy, no sweeteners. If it's not in the 4 letters, it is not allowed. It's not a lifestyle, although some people can adapt it as a lifestyle. It's meant to be a challenge, a reboot, a reset. You can call it a cleanse if you want to. A lot of people like that word, cleanse. So
yeah, it's a detox. It's a cleanse.
It's a triple B and E detox.
Yeah,
you should market it that way. And
we'll charge $49.95 for it.
No,
oh wait, I already gave it away for free.
Yeah.
Dang it. Let's see. Someone asked about, what was that I just saw go by? Foamy urine. So when you urinate, if there's some bubbles, that doesn't mean anything. I'm actually working on a YouTube video about this right now. If there is a lot of foam, almost like you put a drop of soap in there before you peed, then foamy urine can be a sign that you're spilling your protein in your urine, or it can be a sign of several other things. But typically, it's how forcefully you urinate that can actually make bubbles, which appear to be foam. But 9 times out of 10, having bubbles floating on top of your urine is meaningless. Only if it's a soapy foam that lasts for minutes and minutes after you pee, then you might be spilling protein and you should see your doctor.
Thank you, Tom.
Go ahead. You got one?
Kevin wants to know, why would my triglycerides go way up on a ketogenic diet?
You're eating too many carbohydrates on what you thought was a ketogenic diet. Triglycerides, without exception, go down when you're eating a very, very low carbohydrate diet. The thing that causes your triglycerides to go above normal is eating too many carbohydrates for your personal physiology. Now, that's a different number for different people. So download Carb Manager or Chronometer and track for the next 3 or 4 days and see exactly how many total carbs you're eating a day, and then cut that number in half. And then get your triglycerides rechecked in 3 months, and they'll be normal.
Crystal says, just found out I'm pregnant with 4 losses prior. Type 2 diabetic, keto for 2 years, and not pregnant, but not pregnant. My blood sugars are great. As my HCG rises, my blood sugar is rising to almost 200. I'm eating nothing but meat with salt, butter, and bacon and fat. Do I need insulin?
Maybe. Go ahead and see your doctor, Crystal, and make sure they check a C peptide to see how much insulin you're making, because you may have something called LADA. And even though you were type 2 before, you may have converted to a type 1, and you and your doctor just not be aware. The only way to know is to check a C-peptide. And then
get your A1C checked as well.
100%. Yeah.
A lot of things can raise your blood sugar while you're pregnant, that like stress, hormones, things can be. So also get your A1C checked.
That don't necessarily glycate your cells and tissues. That's exactly right. So get the A1C and C-peptide, and that's going to tell you what you need to do, if anything. If it turns out that your A1C is still great and your C-peptide is fine, then you probably just need to, whatever your current keto is, you need to probably cut the carbs in half and eat fatty meat and eggs with the yolk until you're comfortably stuffed. And then you can add a few veg or a few nuts or a few berries.
She's eating meat right now is all she's eating.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's what worries me a little, that we need the A1C and the C-peptide.
Also, check in with your sleep hygiene. Are you sleeping good? Because that can also cause issues.
100%. Kathleen says, can a carnivore diet shrink lipomas? So, Kathleen, we've got hundreds of reports from people eating keto, ketovore, and carnivore saying that their lipomas shrink. And it makes perfect sense, because insulin, when it's high, that's a very strong signal, an inappropriate growth signal. And it makes things grow that shouldn't be growing. And lipomas are just a fatty tumor. They're not cancer. But if they're getting inappropriate growth signals, they'll actually grow. And so when you cut down the carbohydrates, that's going to lower your blood sugar, which is going to lower your serum insulin level. And in many, many cases, the lipomas either shrink drastically or go completely away.
Thank you, Holly.
Hey, Holly.
Holly. Can you still share wants to know, can you have chicken on the carnivore diet?
Sure. Yeah. Always have dark meat chicken with the skin on and the bone in. Chicken breast that's skinless and boneless is just pure protein. There's not enough fat there to give your body what it needs.
Matt Liss, total cholesterol is 193, HDL 43, LDL 130, triglycerides 73. Any glaring concerns?
I'd like to get that HDL up a little bit. Your triglycerides are great. Total cholesterol is great. Your LDL is fine. Ayo says, does the proper human diet cause skin tags? You must be new here, Ayo. I actually have a video all about how eating a proper human diet will shrink and disappear skin tags. This is actually, if you want to stop forming new skin tags and have those huge skin tags that you already have, if you want them to shrink and go away, eat a proper human diet. So after this video, just go to YouTube and search for Dr. Berry skin tags. And then you can watch that video and you'll understand exactly what's going on and why those skin tags are about to go away.
Can the PhD cause your menstrual cycle to become irregular? It can, for a month or two, make it a little wonky. Most of the time, it's actually regulating your hormones, and it will go back to your pain during your period will be less, and your periods will become more consistent if they weren't before. Your flow will be lighter, and overall you'll just feel better during your menstrual cycle, but it can take a month or two for it to kind of like even out.
And a lot of women, they really focus on the D part of PhD. They see the word diet and they think, oh, I must portion control and I must cut back on how much I eat. That's absolutely not required and is mandatorily prohibited on a proper human diet. You eat until you're comfortably stuffed, because if you're under eating as a woman, that's going to send your body a signal that it's not a good environment to reproduce in, and that'll make your period wonky as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You got something over there?
Let's see.
Hey, Dr. Berry, have you done a video about Meniere's or tinnitus, and does keto help that?
Yeah, absolutely it does.
Laura,
Laura, I'm chuckling because I've got the research together to make a video about tinnitus or tinnitus if you're from the South, but I haven't done it yet. My ADD brain gets carried away with this, that, or the other, and I forget. But yes, 100%, the inflammatory signal and the hyperinsulinemia signal is what gives the majority of people their severe tinnitus. Now, all adults over the age of 40 have a little tinnitus. If you get them in a perfectly silent, quiet room, you're going to hear a little buzz or a little hum. That's normal. But if it's so loud that it's affecting your activities of daily living and driving you nuts, then that's pathological tinnitus. And that's the kind of tinnitus that's going to improve greatly with a proper human diet.
Thank you, Jean, for the super
Hey,
chat.
Jean.
Thank you,
Hey, Margaret.
Marguerite.
Huzzah.
Whitetail Obsession Outdoors. Hey, what's up? Nice name.
Hey, nice.
We can be friends. I like your book.
Yeah, bring me the hearts and the livers.
Do you have any experience with PRP injections in the cervical spine? I've had neck pain for 20 years. I see a chiropractor, and with no luck. The MRI shows a couple of herniated discs.
Yeah, I have actually performed PRP and prolotherapy for several years in my practice. I never did deep cervical injections because I didn't have the training. But if you can find somebody who's trained in how to do that, I 100% recommend PRP injections. That's a real thing. I say tonight, every time we get a super chat, we have to say huzzah.
It's almost Renaissance Festival season.
That's right. We got to practice. We got to practice.
Brian from Eastern Tennessee. Do you have any updated opinions on sodium nitrates and nitrites? There are a number of doctors that still say stay away from them in all processed meats. What is the concern with nitrosamine?
And so that's an excellent question, Brian, from Eastern Tennessee. You should ask the specific doctor who says that. Could you show me the research that proves that eating something that's been cured with a nitrate salt is cancer causing or causes any bad thing to happen whatsoever? And if that doctor's honest, they'll say, well, no, because there's no research that proves that it does anything bad for you at all. I have a YouTube video on this channel about eating bacon and nitrates, and will it give you cancer? Will it give you heart disease? The answer is there's never been a shred of proof that eating nitrate cured bacon or any other processed meat is going to harm you in any way. Yeah, a lot of opinions. And I was thinking today about this when I was out rotating the sheep. If you talk about grass-fed, grass-finished meat, that sounds pristine and clean. It sounds pure, right? But when you talk about processed meat, bacon, salami, pastrami, all that stuff, it sounds dirty. It sounds crass. It sounds low class. Sounds basic. And I'm sick and tired of people denigrating processed meat. If you've got the research to show me that it's bad for me, then put your research up and shut up and show me the research. Where's it at? And so I want all you guys to become defenders of bacon. The next time you hear somebody in it, because it's always thoughtless, they're like, well, you need to eat grass-fed, grass-finished, meat. You don't want to be eating bacon and stuff. Stop them right there. So why do you say that? Do you have some research to support that? Huh? Do you? Because if you don't, shut your mouth talking about my bacon, because there ain't nothing wrong with bacon. Okay? If we all started doing that.
The amount of celery juice that's going into people on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
You know what's in celery juice? Yeah.
Pop quiz. What has more nitrates, bacon or celery juice? Which one? I'll give you a second.
Nobody cares about that.
Bacon or celery juice?
No.
What has more nitrates? Cancer-causing nitrates.
They're not really. He's being sarcastic.
Celery. Way more. That's actually what they cure uncured bacon with, is celery juice. Nitrates are not bad for you. There's a couple of the big pharmaceutical houses that are investigating getting an FDA-approved drug that contains nitrates, because when you ingest nitrates, guess what they turn into? Nitric oxide. Guess what that does? Lowers your blood pressure. They're actually trying to get a patent on a nitrate pill as a blood pressure pill. But people are like, it'll cause cancer. Yeah, that's why Pfizer's spending $2 billion trying to get a drug patented, because it causes cancer. No, Nitrates don't cause cancer. That's all bunk. Please step up and defend bacon. I'm sick and tired of hearing it.
Brent, how strong is the link between sugar, carbohydrates, and acne? Also, do you have any insight on Accutane as an acne treatment? The proper human diet rules.
Yes, thank you so much. Hang on, Britt. So there's a very strong link between the chronic inappropriate inflammation from highly processed, high carb, sugar-filled, vegetable oil-filled foods and acne, 100%. Also, if you eat a highly processed carb, your blood sugar spikes, your insulin goes up. Remember, insulin is a growth-like hormone, right? It's going to cause things to grow and swell and puff up like pimples. Finally, Accutane is a wonderful acne treatment if you have severe scarring acne. Okay, it's the best of the best, but it's very, very dangerous. You don't even need to be sexually active when you're taking Accutane, because the devastation that happens to a fetus if the mom or even potentially the dad was taking Accutane when that baby was conceived is devastating. You don't want that. Okay. So if you'll just eat a proper human diet for 90 days, you'll realize you don't really need Accutane after all, because you just got a pimple here and there. The proper human diet does rule. Salty Rider says that wifey is a hottie. And I agree, Salty Rider. I agree. Huzzah.
Valerie, can you talk about the starch diet, Dr. McDougall?
Yeah.
How could this work? I'm carnivore, but I just want to understand pure carbs, or I just don't understand pure carbs are starch.
Yeah. So Valerie, if you calorie restrict on any diet and calorie restrict enough, you'll lose weight. You'll lose fat. You'll lose muscle. You'll lose bone mass.
Happiness.
You'll lose happiness. You'll be chronically hungry. Now, the problem with the starch diet that McDougall talks about is you're chronically starving yourself every day. So you can't do that forever. After so many days of starving yourself, you're gonna call it giving up, but actually you're just giving in to your animal drive to eat real food. And so, yeah, I could lock you in my barn and feed you one jelly donut a day. That's all you get, but it's a jelly donut, and keep you in there 6 months. You'll lose a ton of weight. But you'll also develop multiple vitamin and mineral deficiencies. You'll be starving to death. You'll be hangry beyond your wildest nightmares. And so with a proper human diet, you don't have to starve yourself. That's why this is so wonderful. You get to eat fatty meat and eggs with the yolk until you're comfortably stuffed, and then go have fun.
I need you to read this one.
Okay. Aleka, my husband's atherogenic index, LDL, and AST are all too high, and he's been strictly on the carnivore diet. How long has he been carnivore, Aleka? Triglycerides are okay. HDL is okay. Beautiful. VLDL, okay. Should we worry? So his AST is too high, so he needs a GGT, and he also needs a liver ultrasound and probably a hepatitis panel and maybe some other liver testing. If his LDL is elevated, that's not clear that's even anything to worry about. I've got YouTube videos that explain that. But if his triglycerides are good, his HDL is good, and his A1C is good, metabolically, he's in good shape. Okay. But the liver does need to be investigated further. And also, if he's still drinking any alcohol at all, including sneaking out to the garage when you're not looking, that needs to stop, because typically AST is the one that elevates with alcohol overuse or abuse. Good question. Thank you for that. You guys be nice to each other in the comment.
M. Holland, my dad's triglycerides are 3,600. A1C is 12. Type 2 diabetic. The doctor wants him extremely low fat, only chicken and fish till things are figured out. Would this be helpful? Or would this be helpful
versus the PhD? No. Okay. So you should go with your dad to the doctor's appointment and say, Doctor, I'm confused. Are you saying that when my dad eats fat, that makes his blood sugar go up? Is that what you're implying? And that eating fat makes his triglycerides go up? Is that what you're implying, doctor? Because Dr. Barry on YouTube said that if that is indeed what you're implying, then you're a moron.
Oh boy.
And you don't understand human physiology whatsoever. What makes blood sugar go up? Sugar. Eat sugar, drink sugar, blood sugar go up. If you eat too much sugar, also your triglycerides go up. I would suspect your dad's maybe also drinking a little alcohol with triglycerides that high, your dad immediately needs to do two things. Number one, go watch my Proper Human Diet video on this channel and implement those principles. And then number two, fire his current doctor's ass and find a doctor who understands human anatomy and physiology.
Marnie, hey Marnie, she says we need a bacon defender.
Bacon defender.
We need like a
huzzah, Marnie.
A B with in the Superman logo, defender.
BD, bacon defender. I love it. Yes, somebody do that. Yes, that's a great idea. Nighthawk 99 says, what is good for chronic yeast in the body due to multiple use of antibiotics? First of all, Nighthawk, if medically okay, stop all antibiotics and don't get on any more for a long, long time. Secondly, remember that yeast, like cancer and like bacteria, love sugar. They love sugar in all its forms. And so the lower carbohydrate diet you eat, and remember, any carbohydrate ultimately turns into sugar. So the lower carbohydrate diet you eat, the less sugar there is for the yeast to eat. And also the other thing yeast hates is sunlight. So get as much sunlight on your body as you can and get as few carbohydrates in your body as you can, and the yeast will soon be back to its minuscule level where it doesn't bother you at all. Good question.
Shout out to Ancestral Living and Nutrition. Hey, girl. I noticed that if I get plenty of protein in my breakfast, I don't make bad choices for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you're making good choices in the morning, you're setting yourself up for a successful day.
Yeah. And most people, if they're going to have breakfast at all, and I usually have my breakfast about 4 p.m., but if you have plenty of good, healthy protein and good, healthy fat, those are animal fats and animal proteins, then it's easier, or at least less hard, less difficult to make bad decisions for the rest of the day because you're so satiated that you might be having a little sugar craving, but you're not hungry on top of that.
Neisha, Jennifer wants to know, Neisha, what do you use for a meat tenderizer? Most of the time, I don't really have to tenderize our meat.
Our teeth.
But when I do for certain types of beef stew and things like that, I just put salt on it and let the salt sit on it for like an hour or two. And that kind of does the trick for us.
Yeah, typically, if there's enough fat in the meat, it's not going to be tough and chewy. Good question here from Sherry Brantner. Any chance of kidney stones eating a carnivore diet? So it's very common for doctors to say, oh, if you eat too much meat, you have a kidney stone. 80%, 85% of kidney stones are calcium oxalate. And all doctors want to focus on the calcium part. They don't remember the second part of that is oxalate, calcium oxalate. So for most people, if you cut down on the sugars, specifically the fructose, cut way down on the alcohol and cut down on the high oxalate foods, you'll never have another kidney stone the rest of your life.
Matla says, I've not had any serious illnesses recently or the virus, yet my labs recently showed that my white blood cell count was considered low at 3.4. The range that is on mine is 3.8 to 10.8.
Your white blood cell count and also your platelets are acute phase reactants. Okay, that means that there's 1,000 things in your life, in your body, in your biochemistry, in your serum that can make them go up or down from day to day. So the best thing for you to do, it's barely low. I would just get it rechecked in a month, 99% chance it's going to be normal, and then there you go.
All right. BN says the average age of an Asian is 85 years of age, yet they consume huge amounts of rice. Do you believe that they have built a resilience to carbohydrate?
To some degree, but the thing being that people don't realize about people of Asian descent and also people of Indian descent is that it's very hard for them to get fat. And so us in America, we look at them and they look relatively skinny. And in our mind, we're like, oh, well, they're healthy. But the problem is if you checked their hemoglobin A1C and their C-peptide, you would find out that very often when they're eating those high-carb diets, they're hyperinsulinemic for sure, almost to a man or a woman. And then very, very, very often they're pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic. And they can have type 2 diabetes and still be very slender. Whereas most Caucasians, we're going to get fat, then we'll develop type 2 diabetes. It doesn't work that way for people of Asian or Indian descent. They can actually become type 2 diabetic and still be very slender.
Diana says, what are your thoughts on the Keto OS from the Prove It company? Overpriced and waste of your money, quite unless there's very few instances where any exogenous ketones, not just proven, but any of them are beneficial. If you are a regular human being and you don't have ADHD, Asperger's, dementia, any kind of neurological things going on, ketones are not necessary.
Exogenous ketones.
Exogenous ketones.
Guess what? If you eat low carb enough, guess what your body makes for free? Anybody know? Ketones. Listen to Neisha. She knows. Always listen to the nurse. That's gotten me all through life. It's done me well. Listen to the nurse.
I mean, if you love them, it's fine. They're not going to hurt anything. It's just they're very expensive, and we'd rather you spend that money on your meat.
Yes, good meat and good eggs. You don't need to buy exogenous ketones.
Chrissy.
Hey, Chrissy.
I don't know what this says. Can you read
365-pound friend, A1C high on Omad, needs your tips. So, Chrissy, if your friend likes vegetables, then have your friend watch my YouTube playlist called Keto 101. Okay, it's the basics of just how to get started with keto. It's very easy. It can be very inexpensive, and immediately they're going to start to lose fat, and their A1C is going to start to come down. Okay, if your friend would be very happy just eating meat and eggs and nothing else, then watch my Carnivore 101 playlist. That's it. You don't have to buy any prescription medicines. You don't have to sign up for a program. None of that stuff is necessary. Just watch those videos and do what I say.
She hasn't sat in my lap this long in a long time. She's just been sitting over here the whole time. I'm sorry, I had to change
Loki
position.
up so everybody can see Loki.
I had to change position.
This is Loki cat.
One of our rescue kitties.
She's a pretty good cat.
She's a very good cat.
Oh, somebody's ready for a bump date. You ready to give us a bump date?
I hate to move Loki.
Well, when Loki moves, we'll give you a bump date.
Dave says, can you touch on digestive aids for those of us with no gallbladder? So ox bile supplements. And
you might benefit and need ox bile, but you might not. There are hundreds of thousands of people without a gallbladder who do keto just fine. Now, you may have to transition from your current diet to keto over a month or 2 or 3 to kind of give your liver time to ramp up bile production and bile storage. But after that 1 to 3 month transition period, you should not need any bile acids at all. Your liver's still making plenty of them. Don't forget that.
Did you get
Caesar? Every time I eat keto or carnivore, I get a pain on my right side next to my rib cage. Does that mean I have gallstones? It can mean multiple things, Caesar. It may mean that you have something called gallbladder dysfunction, which means that if you were eating high carb before, you have a weak, floppy gallbladder. Gallbladder is made of smooth
when you say
muscle.
that, I just think this.
Yeah, it's just like this. It's like, oh my God, there's fat. I've got to contract. Yeah, and because it's weak and floppy because you've been eating low fat because you were told to. When you start eating an appropriate high fat diet, your gallbladder's got to work harder. And it's just like your bicep. If you started doing curls that you've never done before, it would hurt, right? Does that mean stop exercising? That it's bad for you? No, it means keep exercising. That muscle will get stronger. Same goes for your gallbladder. The second thing it could mean is that you have gallbladder sludge. Once again, does not mean you need to have your gallbladder out, does not mean you need to quit keto. It means you need to keep eating lots of healthy fat, make that gallbladder contract, and push that sludge out into your small intestine. Then you'll have a strong, clean gallbladder, and your wildest dreams will come true.
What are you drinking, Dr. Berry?
I'm drinking some
San
Pellegrino with some Redmond's electrolytes.
These are the watermelon lime.
Mine are the unflavored, but they also have watermelon lime, which is delish. Let me just say.
That's what I'm drinking.
There's a Redmond's link down in the show notes if you want to try some.
These are my favorite currently.
They're pretty tasty. She used to be like, ooh, watermelon. Now she's like, where's that watermelon?
No, I was just on the pina colada kick for a while.
I'd rather eat dirt.
Please, don't be dramatic. Can keto carnivore diets help heal damage from a past stroke?
Maybe to a certain extent. Now, sometimes if there was a large enough patch of neurons that lost blood supply for long enough, then there's going to be a permanent deficit there. But in over 20 years of medical practice, I've seen so many people told by a neurologist, that's it. That's the best you can hope for. You're never going to improve. Some people give up and they're like, okay, that's what I got. Some people never give up and they start eating a healthier diet full of healthy fats that your neurons need. And in a year's time, it's very slow, but in a year's time, they go back and see that doctor, and the doctor is stunned at the progress that they made. So don't give up, and don't eat a high carbohydrate, highly processed junk diet.
Those of you asking.
Oh, yes. Neisha has a CGM. That stands for continuous glucose monitor. It checks your blood, her interstitial glucose every 5 minutes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
We're doing this because I refused the glucose tolerance test and opted to check my blood sugars instead. I do not have gestational diabetes, but I have to prove it, even though my A1C was 4.8.
Yep. She has to prove it, but not the ketones.
So I have the app on my phone, and you just hit this little, and you go, and then it's, so currently it's at 83. I did just eat. So.
And you want to confess?
Well, listen, we were on a very long trip today. I fasted way longer than I should have, but I didn't have an option. Then we went and ate at O'Charlie's, and the woman brought rolls, and I ate one. And you can see I have not eaten anything bad, and then I ate a roll.
One roll. Look at that spike. That's what carbohydrates do to your blood sugar, people. And that was a whole grain roll.
I was
and I'm
starving.
I'm sure you put some butter on it.
Of course.
Yeah, but still, just the carbohydrates in that whole grain, it went up to 139. You see that?
It was fine. The day before that was fine. Wait, hang on. I'll let you guys see it. I'll be posting this on my stories, by the way.
On your channel?
On my channel and on my Instagram too.
Excellent.
Yeah, see, there's the day before. Look at all those beautiful hypo blood sugars. But yeah, if you want to follow along on my journey, you can come follow me on YouTube and Instagram.
Hey, Crusader General, thanks for the super chat. Huzzah. Huzzah. Good evening, Dr. Barry and beautiful Neisha. Ooh, look at that. Love you guys. Question for Dr. Barry. Do you get persecuted by the AMA and Big Pharma for your views on statins? I get persecuted by the AMA and Big Pharma and the Tennessee State Medical Board for multiple things. And I like that because I know that anytime the powers that be are kicking up like that, that means that I'm having an effect. And for every one of you guys that reverses your type 2 diabetes, you understand there are billion-dollar corporations that are losing money every time you don't buy that new prescription, right? There are billion-dollar corporations. Every time you go to the grocery store and you don't buy Coke or Pepsi, even Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, which I think are fine for some people on keto. But when it comes right down to it, when you buy something, you understand you're voting with your dollars. You get that, right? And you're like, well, I like Diet Coke. But do you understand the huge multinational conglomerate corporation that you're supporting with your money when you buy that crap? Think about that. You're literally supporting their mission to have a Coke machine in every little Mexican village where the rates of type 2 diabetes and obesity are literally 90% in this tiny village. But yet they got a Coca-Cola machine. That's the kind of shit that you're supporting when you buy something from Coke or Pepsi or Kraft or Kellogg's or Mondelez. And so I would highly recommend everybody listening to this, vote with your dollars.
The problem is you can buy water and still support Coke, okay?
That's true. That's true. But there's other ways to get water.
I'm just saying, like,
yes.
Good intentions, I understand, but Coke and Nestle, like, these people own almost every single thing except
for now. For now they do. That's right. Yeah. So every time you go to the store, every time you go to the doctor, just realize that when you spend money on something, you're voting for that. So do so wisely. Good question.
Whoa, Nelly says, what's the best ketone number for dropping weight? I'm on week 7 and I'm stalled this week.
So you haven't lost any weight this week?
But my Keto Mojo came in today and my ketones were 2.6. It's amazing. My glucose was 71. Also amazing.
Beautiful.
That means you're on the right track.
You're not doing anything wrong. Yeah, no, you're doing nothing wrong. Give your body time to heal, Whoa Nelly. Right? Are you a woman, Whoa Nelly?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Anything above 0.5 on your ketone meter is fine. So don't worry because it's going to continue. Your ketones will start dropping, but that's okay. As long as they're above 0.5, you're good. So don't worry about the ketone number. Worry about keeping your carbs under 20 total. consistently, and eating enough protein and eating good fats and staying away from as many products, even if they say keto on them.
That's right.
Because that can enable your monkey on your back that's addicted to the carbohydrates. And also it can stall you. So.
And again, you're voting for a false economy, because I've never seen a ribeye that says keto on it. Have you? Pack of bacon that says keto.
Somebody somewhere is going to do that.
Have you ever seen a head of broccoli in the produce that says keto? No. Eggs? A dozen eggs? Keto eggs?
It's
No.
going to happen because corn says gluten-free on it. And it's
right.
like, it's corn.
Yeah, it's not wheat, it's corn. Yeah, but so real food doesn't have to say keto on the front. So the very fact that they're having to say keto on the front of the package should be a huge red flag. That it's probably not real whole food, one ingredient keto. Think of that.
All right. Nate, hey guys, so much appreciated for the info as always. I just started growing some kefir grains in milk. What are your thoughts on it?
If you can make kefir with heavy cream.
Kefir, sorry.
Well, kefir. I knew a guy in college. His name was Kefir.
Kefir,
and so no, it wasn't Kefir. It was a whole nother Kefir, and nobody liked him. And so I don't like saying the word. So kefir. If you can make it out of a full fat dairy product, then it's definitely less bad than just drinking milk. Notice I didn't say it's good. It might be tasty, but that doesn't mean it's beneficial. But it is less bad than just drinking milk.
Some people do really well with including that in their proper human diet, and some people cannot tolerate that. So Ada, I'm on a carnivore diet now, 7 weeks. A1C went from 12.8 to 6.4.
Wow.
But now I'm stuck there. What do you think?
Give it time, Ada. Give it time. Let your body heal. Keep eating very low carb, whole foods, and check it again in 3 months. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Somebody says, does eating too much meat hurt your kidneys? No, actually, what hurts your kidneys is eating too many carbohydrates. The reason that there's now a dialysis clinic on every corner in every town of America is not because people have been eating too much meat. It's because they've been eating too much Kellogg's and drinking too much Coke and Pepsi, too many sugars, too much fructose, too many carbohydrates. That's what it will absolutely destroy your kidneys. I've got a video on this channel about kidneys and protein.
Rainy Day Lady. Hello, everyone. Loving this proper human diet. Thank you, Dr. Berry and Neisha. Thank you, Rainy Day Lady.
Thank you. Let's see. Shayna says, how do you get small particle size to be big and fluffy? This is like on an NMR lipo profile, your LDL particle size. You do that by eating lots of animal fat, okay? Lots of egg yolks, lots of ribeye that without the fat being trimmed off. And what you're going to do, you might notice that your total cholesterol and your LDL cholesterol go up, but what you're going to notice is that your particles get bigger and fluffier, which is very protective against heart attack and stroke.
Angelic Annihilator. That's quite the name. If I had an infection, should I use antibiotics for the minimum amount of time and then use a natural? What are some natural ways to fight off infections? It
depends on the infection, Angelic Annihilator. Some infections you need antibiotics for. Okay, antibiotics in the right situation can be life-saving, no doubt, but very, very commonly, primary care doctors will give you a round of very strong antibiotics for an upper respiratory infection, which is viral 95% of the time, or a sinus infection, which is viral 85% of the time, or for a runny nose or for a cough, which 100% of the time don't need antibiotics. So if you have a documented bacterial infection, yes, you might need a round of antibiotics. I've got a whole chapter about this in my book, Lies My Doctor Told Me, about when you should use antibiotics and when you should just say, doctor, are you sure I need an antibiotic? Because what are the odds that this is viral? If you ask that one question, 9 times out of 10, the doctor will put away his or her prescription pad because they'll know that what they were planning on doing was giving you a prescription and getting you the hell out of there so they can see the next patient. But if you say, what are the chances this is a viral infection and not bacterial? They'll put their prescription pad away because they'll know that you're an awake, informed patient. And then they'll have to have a conversation with you, which is going to take up some of their time. But for you, it'll be well worth your time.
Ray Cab, love your channel. You're changing lives. How bad or not is sorbitol? I saw it as a second ingredient in my wife's nutritionist what my wife's nutritionist recommended to her.
Sorbitol is one of the worst sugar alcohols on planet Earth. Okay, sorbitol used to be the darling of the American Diabetes Association. Remember, you could get the diabetic candy and diabetic cake. All of them were full of sorbitol.
Wasn't that one of the things in that? What was that food that was like? You basically like poop it all out, and everybody binged on it, and then they like.
Oh, you're thinking about the fake fat Olestra.
Yeah.
That would give you the orange squirts. Yeah. But
bad,
sorbitol, once you break off the little alcohol, the OH, it's sugar, and it's going to spike your blood sugar, raise your insulin, and it's not going to help you in any way. If any of you guys are eating anything that you think is diet or sugar free, and the main sweetener is sorbitol, give that to a friend that may, or give it to a frenemy who you don't really like, and don't buy anything with sorbitol in it.
Thank you, Chrissy. We appreciate you too.
Hey, David.
Oh, Nelly. Also, if you have plaque in your arteries, can this plaque be digested and go away, or is this damage permanent?
So plaquing in the arteries, that's your body's attempt to stabilize an inflammatory part of your artery. Okay. What caused the inflammation was high sugar, high insulin, high inflammation. So once you start eating a proper human diet, the inflammation is going to go down, as is the sugar and the insulin. But your body's still got to heal that damaged artery. And it does that by first putting down cholesterol, and then ultimately by putting down calcium. Okay. Now, in some cases, people's plaquing, either soft plaque or hard plaque, will regress or get smaller with a proper human diet. In some cases, it just calcifies and becomes very stable and is never going to give you a problem. Either way, you win. Thank you, David, for the super chat. Thanks for voting with your dollars, my friend. Thank you, Jean, for the super chat. Huzzah!
Okay, it's crunch time, so
okay,
you need to answer questions.
You didn't say huzzah.
Huzzah! Paul. Hey, Paul. What is leptin resistance, and how do we address it?
So go to Wikipedia and read the entry about leptin. It's very simple to understand. The way that you reverse leptin resistance is to eat a proper human diet. Okay, either keto or ketovore or carnivore is going to help your insulin resistance improve.
Love, peace, joy. Thank you so much, Dr. Barry and Neisha. You're helping us so
much. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
Huzzah!
Huzzah. Andrea, reversed pre-diabetes. My high blood pressure and plaque psoriasis disappeared 3 months after starting keto. Thank you, Dr. Barry.
Anybody got psoriasis and want to reverse it in 3 months? Anybody got eczema and want to reverse it in 3 months? Anybody got terrible dandruff? Want to reverse it in 3 months? Keto, ketovore, carnivore. I've got videos about all three of those things on this channel. Check them out and reverse this chronic disease. And then that's one less prescription you have to fill every month.
Turbods. Yeah. What's your take on animal-based diet, meat, and some fruit? So that is essentially
that's paleo,
rebranded, now being called hypercarnivore.
Yeah.
And what's your take on that, Darby?
Well, the reason that animals eat lots of fruits and berries in the fall is so that they can gain 5 or 10 pounds of fat for the winter. So if it's a rough winter, they won't starve to death because they have 5 or 10 pounds of stored fat. Now, eat all of the fatty meat and eggs with the yolk that you want, because they're going to give you real human nutrition. But if you'd like to gain 5 or 10 pounds for the winter, then eat lots of fruit, and that'll do it.
What it boils down to is your carb tolerance, and that really means how metabolically healthy are you, how young are you, what's your health history. If you are young, metabolically healthy,
and you surf for 3 hours a day.
I can talk, or you can talk if you want to. If you're super active, your carb tolerance is going to be much higher. You can tolerate some fruit. However, if you're 40 or over and you've had pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, metabolic disorder, fruit is still sugar, and it will affect you in the way that any other sugar would. So you have to understand your body, and just because someone else can do this doesn't mean that you can.
Well said. TJ says she calls you Kenny when you're in trouble. Yes, she does.
Yeah, Kenny. Simmer down. Do y'all want a bump date?
Yeah, let's get a bump date. Come on.
There's currently a ton of cat hair on
She has cat hair on her bump, but just ignore that. Look at this baby.
We are almost 28 weeks.
Mwah.
With baby girl Barry.
Look at this baby.
She is extremely
She been kicking a lot today?
Active. Yes.
Do you still have a belly button?
I do.
Oh, there it is.
It's a little Hokey outie.
Oh,
Ow!
sorry.
That was my feather!
Sorry. So beautiful. I agree, Carolyn.
Thank you. Hey, Tanika, thank you. Hey, Dawn, thank you too.
Carnivore says, do not interrupt a pregnant lady. Snap.
Joseph says, I have fatty liver, a thyroid nodule, and I'm a recovering diabetic. What do I need to ask my PCP about uber foamy urine?
So you need to have your primary care doctor check your urinalysis. And if there is any degree of proteinuria or protein in your urine, then you probably need to see a nephrologist and see what degree of chronic kidney disease you have, because you probably got stage 1, 2, or 3. And so with that being said, the fatty liver and the chronic kidney disease that you may or may not have, you can reverse both of those by eating a very low carbohydrate diet that is ancestrally appropriate, that is nutrient dense, that is very low in carbohydrates, basically a proper human diet. You can reverse both of those conditions. You sweet little girl growing in that belly. You want to announce the name?
I think we're pretty committed, aren't we?
I mean, to the first name, we're pretty committed.
With what we're going to call her.
Yeah.
Whether it's her first name, middle name, or nickname, that's still kind of to be determined.
So what are we going to call her?
You can bet.
No, it's your baby. You grew her.
Bonnie,
and I'm going to call her Bonnie Blue.
She is Bonnie Blue.
Whether that's her name or not.
Yeah. That wasn't Bonnie Blue's real name. That was her nickname too.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yep, Bonnie it is. Bonnie Salisbury.
Oh, we got 3,000 watching. 3,000 people.
Thank you guys for sharing this video.
If you watched my Instagram live the other day, I said it on there on accident. No, Beckett did.
What do you say?
He said, "There's my baby," and I said, "Is it some?" I don't know what I asked him, and he said, "It's Bonnie," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I think I said it too, so it's out there.
Sure, crazy Larry. What's the world record you're going to break, brother? I'll help you.
Joseph, I have fatty liver. Oh, we already did that one.
Yeah, we did Joseph.
Keith, will drinking Zevia a couple times a day derail my health goals?
It depends, Keith, on how sensitive your cephalic phase insulin response is to sweet tastes in your mouth. Some of us, if we drank stevia twice a day, our insulin level would stay too high and we wouldn't burn any fats. Other people seemingly can drink a stevia-based drink like Zevia once a day and do just great with their fat loss. It depends.
Jean, thank you very much.
Spoon 17 said, Neisha makes Monday worth living. I totally agree.
Are you going to do a video about aspartame since you read that book?
Man.
We've had several people ask.
Yeah, do you guys think I need to do a video about aspartame? Because I've got quite a bit of research saved up, and it's a dastardly story, guys. If you don't know how aspartame NutraSweet got FDA approved, you should do an internet search and read about that. It involves Donald Rumsfeld.
Everybody says yes.
Yes. Okay. Do the NutraSweet. Okay. All right. I'm going to do NutraSweet video. I'm going to do a tinnitus video. And then I've got about 200 other video ideas. Serena's right. I'm going to show that one. Yeah. NutraSweet is awful shit, says Serena. I totally agree.
IK04. What's the deal with cheese? It's from animals, so I should be able to eat all I want, right? Well,
hold on. It's not actually the meat of an animal. It's dairy, right? And why do mammals make milk? What is its purpose?
To fatten up a baby and help it grow at a very fast rate.
Very fast. It helps you grow and get fat very quickly. Also, all mammals on the planet, except for a very few humans, become lactose intolerant when they're no longer a baby. Did you know that? Your dog and cat are lactose intolerant, most likely. So stop giving them milk.
Contrary to popular belief.
Yeah, contrary to what your vet might tell you, cats almost without exception are lactose intolerant. They might love to lap up that milk, but then they're going to have gastritis later and probably shit on your carpet. So ixnay on the milk.
Sorry, Granny.
Yeah, sorry, Granny. But the thing is, milk is for baby mammals. It's not for adult mammals. And so cheese is definitely less bad for you than drinking liquid milk, because a microbe has bent the protein molecule and turned it from a liquid to a solid. So it's less inflammatory for most people, but some of us, even yet,
Listen, though,
the dairy is too fattening. And I'm one of them. I freaking love cheese, but if I eat too much cheese, what happens to my belly? The normal distribution curve. That's
some
right.
people can tolerate a lot.
Yep.
Some people can tolerate it an average amount, meaning every now and then.
Yep.
And some people cannot tolerate it at all.
That's me.
You have to know where you fall, and you have to be very honest with yourself.
Yes.
If you are eating carnivore and you are gaining weight and you are eating a ton of dairy,
it's the dairy, yeah.
It's the dairy, unfortunately.
And keep in mind, for all you guys out there who can tolerate the dairy, just because you can tolerate something doesn't mean that it's the optimal choice, does it? Think about that. So if you're happy with your progress and you're happy with your success physically, mentally, then keep eating the cheese. But if you're like, man, I feel like I've got more fat to lose, I feel like I could be healthier, then try 90 days with no dairy at all except for butter and ghee, which are just a fat component of dairy. And I bet you'll be healthier after 90 days of that than you are right now.
Also, goat cheese is tends to be easier and better tolerated. So keep that in mind.
Yep. Whey and casein are the two major proteins. There's a long list of proteins in dairy, but those are the two major ones. And in this case, I agree with the vegans. No adult human on the planet should ever drink milk. You might be able to tolerate it, but that does not mean that you couldn't have made a better choice. Even raw milk, I'm sorry, I know that offends people. Raw milk is indeed less bad than homogenized pasteurized milk.
There are many people out there drinking raw milk and doing great, eating lots of cheese and doing great. But listen, if you're eating a lot of dairy and you're not doing well and you still have skin conditions and you're still gaining weight or you're not losing weight or you have pain and inflammation.
Still got dandruff. You
have a lot of symptoms.
Acne.
It's the dairy.
It's the dairy. Eczema. It's the dairy. 100% it's the dairy. Yep.
Unfortunately.
Oat milk, Jennifer, oat milk is a complete and utter waste of money. First of all, it's not milk. It's oat juice that's got some artificial chemicals put in it to make it look and taste like.
Billions the other day about his oat milk.
I can't. They were oat milk, almond milk. None of these are milk. Why do you think you have to have a white liquid? Do you understand?
Because it's part of who we are.
Think about it. Why do you think as an adult you have to drink a white liquid? I mean, just get some water and put some white food coloring in
your
it.
Coffee. Okay, listen, there's a lot of things. Look, we're spending too much time on dairy.
I'm
Please
sorry.
do the dairy video.
Okay, fine.
Just do it. Can you just do it? Joss, what are your thoughts on the GAPS diet and its creator, Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride?
For many people, the GAPS diet is an excellent first step. Okay, their symptoms improve. The GAPS diet, I don't think is perfect. I don't think the GAPS diet is a proper human diet, but it is a great step in the right direction for many, many people. For many people, starting the GAPS diet is the first step towards them rediscovering a proper human diet.
Two Crazy Ketos. Hi.
Hey,
Thank
Two
you,
Crazy
Dr.
Ketos.
Barry and Neisha, for all you do for the keto carnivore community. Can't wait to see you guys this weekend. What's this weekend?
I don't know. What are we doing this weekend?
We're supposed to be somewhere this weekend.
Look that up quick. I don't know what they're talking about.
Rachel, please text me. Tell me what we're supposed to do.
Where are we supposed to be?
You can't count on me anymore because I'm pregnant. Used to, I was the one who kept it together. But
yeah.
Are y'all coming through here? Maybe they're because they got the RV. Maybe.
Oh yeah, come see us. That'd be great. I'll show you the sheep.
Colette, thank you so much, Colette. Little 8940. My mother is 75, type 2 diabetic for 30 years. Low carb diet 6+ months. Reduced her A1C from 8 to 6. I told her to ask the doc for insulin and C-peptide. He told her she wouldn't know what to do with that info. Yeah,
go with your mother to the next appointment and say, doctor, it's quite possible that you don't know what to do with a C-peptide and a fasting insulin level, but I and my mother do. So would you please just order it, and then we'll teach you why those two numbers are very, very important. If you'll say that to the doctor one time, the doctor will never make such an ignorant statement again, I hope. We can only hope, right? Paul, if you come to Tennessee, you can help me rotate the sheep, but you cannot have a sheep.
He needs help. Not this weekend.
Oh, 2 weeks. The
cruise dinner. Okay. I know. Okay. Can you believe that's in 2 weeks?
I know. That's crazy.
Oh my God, I'm
that's
so
crazy.
excited. Yay!
Thanks for freaking Neisha out. I'll check your blood sugar. See what it did.
Look, y'all, I post my sugars daily, or I try to if I remember. And so I'd put food, and then Beckett's screaming, and it's like everything's good, and then I have a spike because stress level.
No spike yet,
I'm
Rachel.
Good. I'm good.
You're off the hook.
But it's like stress can affect your blood sugar. Yeah. All right.
When are you due, Neisha?
July 21st ish.
Yeah. She's coming about 2 weeks early, I think.
I think so.
You do too?
I've said that 100 times.
I thought I said
that. Mayonic? I'm sorry. I've been doing intermittent fasting 18-6 for the last 4 years and keto for 2 years, turning 50. I just got detailed testing done. Cholesterol was high as expected, but my A1C is 5.7. Should I be alarmed?
You shouldn't be alarmed, but you should be aware that a A1C of 5.7, you are just over the edge. You are a pre-diabetic currently, okay? Not permanently, but for right now. And so go back and figure out how many carbohydrates you're eating on a given day, total carbs, and cut that number in half. Eat that and eat until you're comfortably stuffed. Lots of fatty meat, lots of eggs with the yolk, and then add a few carbs in if you must. If you don't have to, but if you want to, you can. In 3 months, your A1C will be normal, and you will have reversed your prediabetes by doing that. Joe says that when he sees Rachel, his blood sugar goes up. I bet, Joe.
James, attempting triple B&E in May. Any tips on fighting food boredom and ensuring I get all necessary nutrients? I love steak, but 30 days of it might end me.
I promise you, James, you're going to be pleasantly surprised that you never get tired of eating real food. So you're not going to sit down and eat a meal just because it's time to eat. You're going to wait until you're truly hungry, and then you're going to smash some eggs and bacon, or some eggs and steak, or some bacon and eggs, or any of the combinations with butter on top, okay? And you're going to be happy every time you sit down to that, and you're going to eat until you're comfortably stuffed.
You can eat ground beef as well.
Yeah, ground beef. Any beef is fine. Any ruminant animal is fine. So sheep, goat, beef, venison, bison, any of that stuff is totally fine. If it's a ruminant, camel's fine, depending on where you live in the world. Water buffalo is fine. Yak is fine. I had a guy reach out to me yesterday, said that they have good yak where he lives. Yak is a ruminant. It's perfectly fine. I would eat a yak, a big yak rib, wouldn't you?
Yakety yak.
Don't talk back. Huzzah.
Loki is back in my lap again.
Huzzah.
Are you so excited? Do any of you also attend Renaissance fairs or festivals? I have been attending this particular one since I was 13
years old.
So a long time ago.
I wish I could have been there.
When it was not cool. And now it's kind of cool to go to them. Before it was like, what do you mean you're going to Renaissance fair? What do you mean you're dressing up? You were such a dork. Yes.
What are you going to dress up as this year?
A pregnant wench.
Pregnant Cersei.
Pregnant Cersei?
Yeah.
No. It can be Daenerys. She's pregnant for a minute.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I don't have bleached hair, though.
Traditional Girl says, butter is cream. So why isn't drinking raw cream good? Well, now, Traditional Girl, if you were as traditional as your name implies, you would know that butter is not cream. You use cream to make butters. Anybody made butter with cream or milk? It's super easy to do. But when you get done and you've got the hunk of butter and you take it out, there's something left in the churn. Does anybody know what it is? Remember Little Miss Muffet? She sat on a tuffet eating her curds and whey. There's cloudy liquid left. So cream is not just butter. There's whey in there as well. And that's why for some people, even heavy cream is a little too inflammatory and too fattening. Okay. Butter and ghee are pure butter and pure ghee. Heavy cream is not pure butter. It actually still has some protein in it. And if you just make some butter with that cream, then you will prove it to yourself and you'll know that Dr. Berry was right. And even though Neisha cuts her eyes at him, he still is right.
I'm laughing at Serena. She said, no way. Get it? Way.
No way.
Trevor, I have vitiligo and I've been on Carnivore for 40 days. What have you seen in your practice in regards to this condition and the carnivore diet?
I only had 2 patients my entire career with vitiligo that was biopsy confirmed. And so I don't have any personal experience with patients with vitiligo on a carnivore diet, but I do know that Joe Rogan has vitiligo And he reported that after his carnivore diet experience, that his vitiligo spots had actually shrunk. He was starting to make more melanin secreting cells in his skin. And he said his vitiligo spots were actually getting smaller. And that makes perfect sense when you lower the glucose, lower the insulin, and lower the chronic inappropriate inflammation, that the skin would start to heal, because vitiligo is an autoimmune condition, right?
I'm glad to see that I'm not the only dork who loves Renaissance festivals. Oh, Rachel, I knew you were a Renaissance girl.
Oh, you guys should come and go with us. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, it's in May.
Yep.
Angie, thank you so much. Yes, there is jousting, although it's really tame compared to when I started going. They truly, I saw a guy get knocked off his horse.
Same.
Now it's
knocked
just
out. Yeah.
It's
now,
totally fake.
All the guys that do it are kind of getting up there in years, and so they kind of pull their punches a little. But the first time I ever went, the joust was legit. I mean, they were splintering lances. Yeah. Dudes were getting flipped off and knocked out. It was awesome.
They had to have a medic come check him out because he was busted.
He got nailed. Yes.
It was awesome.
The Ren Fest is what Diane calls it.
Ren Fest, Ren Fair. Yeah. We go to the one in Tree, and there's an actual castle this man has built over the past years, and it gets bigger every year. So I'm going to do a vlog on my channel if you're interested in seeing us
Neisha
go to
loves
the Renaissance Fair.
You need to subscribe to her channel so you can see that castle if for no other reason. Joe, pickled eggs are excelente. Okay. Joe Pullen says, how about pickled eggs? Pickled quail eggs, pickled chicken, duck, goose eggs, turkey eggs, 100%. Peacock eggs, yes. Pickle those eggs and eat them. Never throw away a yolk. That's where all the vitamins and minerals are.
They make really good deviled eggs too, because it's already got the pickled flavor to it.
Please do
and
that.
They're already boiled, so you don't have to do that part.
Yes, please make some.
Sicario Miro, 2 years clean keto, now 3 months carnivore. Omad, 135 pounds, 12% BF,
body
4
fat.
months. With a terrible never before had neuropathy. I just did a glucose curve and failed very bad. Thoughts on the glucose curve test?
The glucose curve test probably has nothing to do with the neuropathy. You need to go see your doctor and get referred to a neurologist because there's nothing about a proper human diet that's going to make you develop neuropathy. You developed it. There's something else going on that needs to be investigated. That's one of the beautiful things about a proper human diet is when some weird thing pops up like that, you know it's time to go see your doctor. That's not going to be diet induced if you're eating a proper human diet. And so it helps that it eliminates that. Well, I wonder if I should go to the doctor for this. Because if you're eating a proper human diet and something happens, you need to go to the doctor. Yes.
Now all I can think about.
Jody C says, how many eggs a day? Neisha, how many eggs a day do you eat?
Anywhere from 4 to 8, depending on the day.
I eat anywhere from 6 to 12, almost every single day. I had 6 today, and I may have some more after this live. Eggs are good from you. They are a gift from the Creator, okay? Think about it. There's everything in an egg to make a complete bird, regardless of what kind of egg it is, right? And so there's all the building blocks in there for bird liver, for bird spleen, for bird kidneys, for bird heart. And so you're literally getting all that nutrition from the yolk of that egg. Eat your eggs.
Oh, we have went over time.
Well, let's do one more. Do we have any?
I think we're good.
Is MX? We already did MX?
I did that one.
Okay.
Yep, I did that one.
Okay, we got that.
All right. Last question, ladies and gentlemen.
Chana says, Shalom from Israel. Hey.
Shalom. Also, if you want to come hang out with us at the beach in a few weeks, contact Rebecca Farmer. If you go to tailoredketo.health.
Tailoredketo.health.
If you look up Rebecca Farmer Keto, it should pull up her website. Send her an email. She'll send you the information. Basically, we get to hang out on the beach together. You get to ask your questions, get lots of information, good quality time with Dr. Barry and I in a beautiful house on the beach. Lots of meat included in your experience. So if you're interested in that, please
hang out with us.
There's just a few spots left.
Yes.
It's basically like if you wanted to live with him for a few days, that's what you get.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a full
how
week.
Bad could it be?
It's a full week. We will be there for the first 3 days. So we are not there for the whole time, but you get him I mean, more than most people would get access to him. So I would say it's worth the money.
Maybe too much.
If you love this guy, I don't know. I live with him.
She's over it, but
I'm over it. Yeah.
Leanne's got the last question of the night. Do you think people do better on weight loss if they just eat beef only? Yes, I do, but not because there's anything magic in beef. Okay. The reason is so it's called the lion diet. You just eat beef, salt, and water. There's no room for reindeer games. Same with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Like if it ain't one of those 4 things, don't eat it. But so many people, when they start keto, they're like, oh, there's keto pancakes. Oh, there's keto bread. Oh, there's keto pie. And they wind up eating all this highly processed stuff. And it may be made with nut flour instead of wheat flour, but it's still highly processed and it's got too many carbohydrates. And the carbohydrates hit your system too fast. So I think if you do a 90-day restriction like beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, or the lion diet, just beef, salt, and water, there's no room for reindeer games. You either eat beef or you don't eat. And so if you're truly hungry, eat beef till you're stuffed. But do you see how that eliminates all the people like, well, what about, no, beef, salt, water, the end. It eliminates the bullshit. That's why I love it so much. Thanks so much for hitting the thumbs up. Thanks for sharing this video with someone that could benefit from it.
If you're interested in the beach retreat, it is the pinned comment currently.
Okay. That's got the website.
Tailored keto.health.
Tailored
and then her email is at the top. You just shoot her an email and she will send you all the details. And I mean, it's like a once in a lifetime thing. Okay, you get to literally stay on this beautiful beach in it's 30A area, Miramar Beach.
Nice beach.
Huge house directly on the beach.
Unlimited meat.
Unlimited Dr. Berry access for at least 2.5 days.
Wow.
You get to ask him whatever you want.
If you had a question tonight that we didn't get to, consider becoming a patron. There's a link down in the show notes. It's a quick sign up and you've got access to 4 additional live Q&As just like this one. But instead of 3,000 people watching and asking questions, there's 100 or 200 people. So we can answer way more questions in far deeper detail. Become a patron, become part of our tribe, help us change the world and help us make Coke and Pepsi and Kellogg's and Kraft and Mondelez go broke. Chapter 7.
And if you're a mama or you know a mama who is wanting to eat low carb, trying to conceive or breastfeed, send them my way. And
Neisha loves it.
Neisha loves it. I do Q&As on Saturday mornings. And then I also have a health coaching group that they can join if they're interested in that.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for going on this journey with us. Thanks for keeping up with Beckett and baby Bonnie. We'll be back next week. If you want to join us again tomorrow at 6 p.m., we'll be on Patreon. The link's down below. See you next time.